Hello and welcome back. It's DrBossKey, and today we're talking about Caravan mode or time attack mode. There's a little bit of variation, so I was doing a little bit of reading on that and thinking about how it could be done for the Shmup creator toolset that I'm using and that a lot of us are using to make our shmups. So Sunny, I did a quick write-up. I'll post the doc in the Discord server. This is just my thinkings on how we could do it. I think we're really close. We need a few key features, and I thought I'd just walk you through this and kind of the way I was thinking about it. Again, you are obviously the developer. However you want to include it and to program the actual features is the thing. Okay, so let's see. All right, so I thought what I'd do is I was just running you through my thoughts. So yeah, again, I'll post the doc here. So I kind of took a blanket like, hey, what is Caravan mode in terms of features, objectives, all that good stuff, and then how does that sort of bolt into Shmup Creator? So the objective obviously is to achieve the highest score possible within a fixed time limit. So a couple things I think we would need to do is we want to expand the Shmup Creator into level gameplay logic, right? So this allows us in the level select screens to be able to load a level and to pass a flag that says, hey, this is Caravan mode. So that's why I said, if true, then look for Gamebox Caravan object logic on level load. So I did a little Caravan object for you. And then in here, basically, it would be in the into level property. We would add a is Caravan time attack level load. It can be better worded there. But basically there's a little tooltip here. So essentially if it's checked, then we could load an existing level or a different level, doesn't matter. And then look for the Caravan gameplay object. So that was kind of the way I was thinking about that. Because in my particular case, and I think for a lot of us too, I wouldn't want to make copies of levels, have to redevelop them, redesign them. What I really like to do is use my existing levels and use like a windows, right? So but not always starting at the very beginning of the level. So if I want to start 5 minutes out from a boss and kind of time it to where you start from that part of the level up to the end boss, and then to complete it, that would be like, for instance, an example of how we would use that. All right, so and then we have the Gamebox Caravan object. So here, I think I did a quick mock-up. Yeah, okay, cool. So in this, I was kind of thinking it looks something like this. So we've got a Gamebox object here, and a couple things here. So one would be, and this, you could split this up in different ways, but this might be a way to attack it. So here, the cool part is when the level loads, it looks for this gameplay object, says, cool, it's got one. And then if it's true, then do what you normally do with your trigger states, right? So then does it stay active? Is it switch mode? I kind of copy and pasted these things, but I think they're mostly still relevant. Added one here, which is new high score achieved. And we'll talk a little bit more about leaderboards and what that looks like. But if this was checked, for instance, you could still use this logic and then trigger VFX and text and things like that. Also, maybe in this object, this is somewhere between the text object and the Caravan object, but you would set the time. So time could be variable, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 12 minutes, doesn't matter. And then you would also want to set the horizontal and vertical parameters for the time display. This could also, like I said, connect to the text-based object, and we could use it there, but it could be here as well. It's really your call. Also, whether or not you want to display the timer in world position or screen position, and then whether you want to display the timer at all, because there may be some cases where you don't want to automatically display the timer. And then also, I thought it would be nice to also include milliseconds if we wanted. So I think some people want to the millisecond, some people want minutes and seconds, probably some people only want minutes, so somewhere in between. So all right, so that was kind of what I was thinking there, and that would give us the ability to then trigger a variety of different logical steps. All right, so let me flip back over to the doc. All right, so that was, let's see here. Also, if we had a Caravan object, we could do things like custom text intros, sound, gameplay tweaks, etc., which would be super cool. We talked about set camera position. And then time limit we talked about, so the on-screen, so there was that. Time duration, display timer format, minutes, seconds, milliseconds, so I mentioned that. And then we have, so then moving on to the game over side of this, right? So obviously this makes sense. So on level end, it would be really helpful for a couple things. So one, it would be super helpful to have a quick level restart, so we don't have to reload back into the loading level if we have, or the front end. So right now we're hard coded to, once you get a leaderboard entry and you put in your initials, it restarts everything. So getting a little like, hey, put in my initials if I got a new high score, and then being able to just quick restart, so you can always do that. Which also reminds me, I believe, here, let me just go do a quick bit of research for a second. Okay, and we're back. Yeah, so I wanted to double check that we don't have the restart level feature. So when we're thinking about one of the keys to trying to get your best score in your time trial is to have these quick loops, right? So if you missed a wave, you don't want to have to quit, go back to the front end, then go back to the level select and go back to the level. You want to really just boom, like bring up the pause menu, restart the level, and then just automatically go right back into trying to get your highest score. So I added a little piece at the end of the bottom of this. So yeah, so pause menu feature for quick restart level. It can work for normal levels too. So you just wipe the score, the player's score, of course, at that point, and then know which level we're in. Reload that level. We should have a sort of caravan mode flag. So if the player is in caravan mode, restart level, then automatically restarts the level, knows that what came from a caravan mode flagged level load, and then restarts caravan mode for you there. So okay, cool. So that was, let's see. So so we talked about that. What was the time limit? Yes, I think we talked about time limit. Game over is where we're at. Level in, so that was the other thing with the quick level restart. Okay, cool. And so probably one of the other big bits here is leaderboards, right? So couple things on the leaderboard side of things is so you want to be able to have essentially two separate leaderboards: leaderboard for normal play, leaderboard for caravan. And then you also, I think, which is important here, is that you want to have a global leaderboard, which only shows the high scores for each of the levels. And then you want a level specific leaderboard for caravan mode, which then shows like your top 10. So that way you can also see how well you're doing and progressing against both other players, but your own high scores, of course. And then leaderboard should display the level name, and then initials allow you to input because you want to leave your mark, obviously. And then also one big feature we're missing right now, of course, is in the front end, we don't have the ability to look at leaderboards. I can do a little bit more of a design if you like, but basically it's leaderboard display, of course, and then you'll probably have tabs at the top for then looking at the different leaderboard modes. On the scoring side, so we could do a lot already. Eru also pointed this out. So I think one feature we could add that would really help is we don't have a way to give a bonus for killing enemy waves. So I think it's pretty explanatory. You kill the whole wave, you get an extra bonus. It gets counted against the multiplier, your chain attack multiplier, all that good stuff, right? So, and then also one thing that I thought would be super cool feature-wise would be a no fire button bonus score. So when the player is not holding any of the fire buttons down, they essentially have a passive score that starts ticking up. Could be up towards the multiplier, could come off your ship. But basically you could set what that X score value is, set X time value per score. So i.e. 1 second equals X score. So you could also set that at, so like if you want 10 seconds, you get a 100 bonus, or if you want it to be every second, or I think I probably add a second increments, totally fine. And then here you have like display score values earned, screen position, so X, Y, where you actually want these bonus scores to pop up. They would come from the font system, all that good stuff too. You could again connect this probably to the text object as a value. So, but I'll let you figure out how you want to do that. And then an item here for there was power-ups. So I think we're already good on the power-up side of things because we can spawn them. We have scores that we can add to them, and we can also set whether or not like a full wave gives a power-up, or if it's every individual in the wave. So lots of good stuff there. On the combo system side of things, so let's see here. So one feature would be to, this is one of the things that we have here. So would be to reset the chain multiplier on player damage. So I'm pretty sure, let me go and take a quick research. And we're back. Okay, cool. So yeah, the other thing that I think is useful here is that in the scoring system, we should have an option that says player damage resets multiplier. Ooh, now that I think about this, so it might be actually that you only want this for Caravan mode. Man, I got stuff flying around here. So it probably is something like this actually too. So multiplier Caravan only. Either way, I think the options would be good globally for that. So and it would be something like this. So yeah. My weird OCD right now. All right. Yeah, cool. All right. So, and then stepping back. All right. So that was on the multiplier bonus combo system. Anything just there? Note combo system. Okay. Reset chain multiplier and player damage. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That was that. Normal and Caravan options and scoring menu. Cool. Maybe I can take a quick Frunkle Duke of this. Alright, just one of those bad boys. And let's drop that up. Yeah. Alright. A little big. Yeah, okay. All right, so I think that works for that. All right, let's see here. View. There we go. Okay, so let's see. So multiplier bonus we already talked about. We're good there. Difficulty levels. So yeah, so one of the things I was thinking about here is that for Caravan mode, because we have that logic at the beginning that we check that we're in Caravan mode, then we could use that logic, that Gamebox logic, to essentially control how many enemies spawn, enemy weapon sets. So you could have existing enemies, but give them additional sets, and then use the weapon set trigger to trigger all of those across the level. That would be dope. We could have the power-up spawns and more. So it gives a lot of flexibility, which is what Shrunk Creator is all about. All right, so and then a couple bonus features as I was thinking about it. We could have our own take on Caravan mode, which would be like time attack extension features. So here it would be a power-up item that increases the timer by X, right? So a little bit different, but maybe there's something to be said for that. So you could still have an overall max maybe for that, or you can extend until the end of the level. There are a couple ways that it could go about that, but I thought that would be kind of neat for us to do that. And then in the pause menu, we talked about that already. So essentially being able to have a quick restart. So I did a very, very rough mock-up there. Okay, I think that's my take on it. So I think we're very close. We have some work just as a highlight. So we need a little bit of game logic. We need to hit the level load system. We need leaderboard updates. But I can see how this could come together. And I think personally for me, I would add a Caravan mode to the DrBossKey shoot 'em up, the Interstellar Sentinel shoot 'em up. And I think what I would do is I'd use my existing level logic system, and I would just create a secondary level or section on the screen that would be Caravan only modes for that. The other thing probably that's worth noting is that when you have your game over, I don't think I actually mentioned this. So when you have your game over, so you've complete Caravan mode, it should take you back to a level that we set up at the end of level logic. So that might be a thing where we need to express that. Because there, I would want to go back to level select and not go back to the front end each time to reduce that loop. So I think that's probably one of the last things. Okay, I hope that wasn't too rambly. I hope that makes sense. I'll get this video uploaded. And again, I'll drop this link in the Discord server, and feel free, anyone that wants to make additions, comments, whatever to the doc. It's all of ours collectively for the community. And I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.